The production and service provision plans are the outputs of the production and service provision process. These are the documents and procedures that outline the approach that will be taken to produce and supply a medical device. As a minimum, the procedures must cover the control of production, qualification of the infrastructure, validation of production and servicing processes, monitoring and measurement of process parameters, monitoring of product characteristics, monitoring of equipment, product release process, and servicing. These plans should specify the production and service provision stages, the resources that will be required, the activities that will be undertaken, and the production and service provision outputs that are expected to be produced at each stage. The plans are based on the production and service provision inputs, which are the requirements for the medical device that have been identified by the organization and its customers. The outputs obtained in this process are the products of the production and service provision process, which should be produced at each stage of the process and should be reviewed to ensure that they meet the requirements of the organization and its customers. The validation process must involve the input of the end user. It should be documented, reviewed, and approved by senior management. Remember to review and update the plans as necessary. Okay, on to the last point in Clause 7. The control of monitoring and measuring equipment plans establishes the monitoring and measurement needed to maintain compliance of the medical device with its requirements. The plan should identify the equipment used to monitor and measure the activities. The characteristics to be monitored, the plan should identify the equipment used to monitor and measure the activities, the characteristics to be monitored and measured, and the methods and procedures to be followed. The equipment needs to be in a good state, so the plan should include the calibration and verification activities at specified intervals, the records that give evidence of the traceability to standards, and the operating conditions of equipment. All verification and calibration results should be reviewed by authorized people, and their validity and conformance needs to be ensured with specific requirements. In case deviations or nonconformities are identified during monitoring and measurement, there should be a CAPA procedure to address them and evaluate its effectiveness after the instrument's adjustments or readjustments or other actions are applied. That's it for Clause 7. Now let's look at Clause 8.